Do you lose track of your own desires in the presence of people you love? How do you separate your own desires from those of your family, your friends, and loved ones? By the end of this video, you're gonna know how to tune out the noise. Here are the steps. Step 1, meditation. Now, if you're like me, I honestly had no idea how much was going on in my mind. I knew that I had trouble sorting out my feelings from what others wanted and what I wanted myself. It was hard for me. But I didn't understand how much of the thoughts and feelings and emotions in my mind were being affected by my outward environment. The practice of meditation allows you to sit down and examine the flow of all the feelings and thoughts and emotions that you have as they pass by without engaging, and beginning to identify that is really a huge step in starting to navigate the noise of life versus what you want deep within yourself. So I hear this all the time from people. I'm ADD, and I hear people all the time say, well, I can't meditate. I'm ADD, my brain bounces all over the place. And this is why you need meditation. You may not feel like you're good at it. It may be hard for you because it's settling your mind, and that focus is just unbearable and your thoughts will just bounce around. That's okay. Practice of doing it as you sit in, and I like breath work, the most boring of all meditations, focusing on my breath. And as you do this and sit and your mind begins to be distracted, your thoughts will be like, am I doing this right? Whatever your thoughts are, as they bounce around, the recognition of your own thoughts bouncing around is an act of mindfulness that leads you to deeper meditation. So embrace it. Start with a timer. This is what I did. I couldn't do it for 10 minutes even. It drove me nuts. I started with a timer. I'd set it at 2 minutes. I'd have somebody walk me through verbally on YouTube, and I would listen. Once 2 minutes became really easy, I did 2 more minutes, and I kept building until I could sit for 20, 30 minutes meditating without a problem. Do that. It is a real thing that will help you. Without it, it's gonna be hard to navigate these emotions. The second thing is, once you are in the practice of meditation and able to see all that's going on in the chaos of your mind, begin dialing into your body and identifying your emotions. A lot of times for men, this is really hard. I remember people would say, hey, how you doing? And I'd be like, oh, I'm good. Or, having a tough day? No, I'm fine. There's a show called Patriot on Prime. And it's this kid, he is a secret agent, and his dad is his handler. And his dad puts him in really compromising situations all the time where it's dangerous. His life is on the line, and he is overwhelmed with possible capture, or torture, or death. And he'll get a call from his dad. Hey, how you doing, son? In the midst of an absolute crisis. And he'll say, doing good, I'm fine. And you know he's not. This is what most of us do. We don't acknowledge our emotions. We keep a wall up and a barrier between the outside world and ourselves. Unfortunately, we don't let that barrier down. Begin to identify how you're feeling. It is not good enough to say, oh, I'm feeling crappy, or I'm feeling good. Really, what is the real true feeling? And drop into your body, feel it. And as you do this, it will truly begin to help you have a better understanding of why you're acting or feeling certain ways. And you'll have a sense of the path you need to take to rectify emotions that you are wanting to work through. So the first 2 steps in this process of tuning out the noise are 1, meditation, and 2, the practice of identifying emotions. These go hand in hand. If you can do that, you're really going to be in good shape. So these were hard things for me to do, and I had a lot of stuff that I was working through because I did, like you. And as I began to work through this process, it became clearer and clearer to me what was the expectations of others that I was trying to fulfill, and the desires of myself that I wanted to fulfill. And I discovered that I was really spending most of my time living in the space where I was trying to please others. And I was doing nothing to engage my own belief system not nothing, but not enough to gauge my own belief system and follow the things that I really wanted to do. And I had no clear sense of even what I wanted because I was so caught up in fulfilling the dreams of others for me that it was hard to accept and to understand. And it's an interesting thing, right? I have a family that is all devout in their religious belief. And they want me to have the happiness that they have in that belief system that they carry. And that's a wonderful thing, to have people that want you to be happy and they want you to feel the way they do and they want to share with you their process. And it is okay to follow that process and see if it brings you that kind of happiness. If it doesn't, you need to be able to separate your emotions, your understanding what's going on, so that you can then discover what you need to do and what your path is. And it was hard for me to do this because there's a lot of social expectation that comes with a religious family that, is built around the whole concept of this religious belief system and everything that we do. And it was hard for me to ferret out where I stood. And when I began to figure it out, I had to find the courage to stand up and say, hey, I am going to have to tell you, I don't actually believe in the same process and system as you. And you can feel like you've been abandoned by your belief systems. You can feel like you've been lied to or deceived because you've been following something so long, being told it'll make you happy and it didn't. And you may want to lash out. But if you go through this process, it actually allows you to see that you yourself are the one that abandoned your own understanding and your dreams in order to fulfill and receive acceptance from people around you that you love. And that's a common thing to do. You don't have to be upset at the people. You don't have to be upset at the religious belief system that you're walking away from. You just have to recognize, oh, that's not one that's working for me. So it allows you to separate yourself in a compassionate way without having to be angry, without having to lash out, without having to impose your own new system on others. So I like going about it this way. And it's been important for me to maintain the relationships with my own family that remains devout in their religious belief. And then when you have done this and you begin to act on what your dream is, you can love yourself more than your need for acceptance. And this is important because the weight of where you're finding your worth, if you were like me, was all found in the value that you brought others and the way they accepted me. That's how I was seeking my value. And I see a lot of people doing this, seeing that they believe their value is only what they can offer the outer world. Your value is intrinsic. You must love yourself as deeply as you wish to be loved. And you cannot do that if you can't ferret out the noise of the world around you from your own sense of what it is you want. And as you begin to separate that and see it and feel it for yourself, it will build you. It'll give you excitement. You will see clearly the path you want to take. I remember people asking me, what is it you want to do? And wishing somebody would just tell me what they thought I should do. I was so unable to reach for what I wanted because everything I felt I wanted was wrapped in what others wanted for me. If you're like me and the noise of the world is crashing down on you, these are some great tips that could help you to really figure out what's going on. The last thing, I actually picked this up the other day. It isn't even part of this, what I was thinking, but it was just something I picked up the other day. And this girl said, if you struggle with this, if you go into places and you struggle with taking on the emotions of the space around you and the people around you, which many of us do, because that's a natural human thing. You walk into a space and you're like, oh, I think there was an argument in here. Your affect changes to match the tension of the room. If that's you, and you want to be able to balance that, ask yourself when you're feeling things, once you begin to identify and are able to see that you're feeling stuff that isn't incongruous with what you want, ask yourself this question: are these my feelings or the feelings of someone else? And your mind, if you have delved into it, will be able to see very clearly, oh no, you're bringing on the emotional feelings and thoughts of others. and you can begin to sort that out. If it's still a problem, she gave me this technique. And she said, put your hand in a triangle at your waist facing down and bring them up and just move this energy away from you. I tried it. I was in a room. I was feeling a little bit anxious. I didn't know why. I felt like it was kind of the tension of the room, and I tried it, and it actually made me feel better. I don't know. For me, I don't care if it's fake or if it's real, but if it works, try it. And this is one of those things for me that I felt like, wow, this really helped give me another level of clearing. So be attentive to the noise of the world around you. Be attentive to the need of the people that you have in your life and what they're asking. And be attentive to yourself and understand, are you trying to fulfill the wishes of the people around you that you love in order for you to feel accepted and okay? Or are you acting in that way because you want to give, but you know what your dream is, you love yourself enough that you can pursue what you want with clarity and purpose and confidence? If you don't have that yet, work on this and get it. And you can find it. Tell me what you're doing to be able to discover your dreams. Hey, so I got another video coming up that's called How to Overcome Fear of Dating After Divorce. You got to be able to figure out what you want in the first place if you're going to go out and date somebody that you really want to date. So this might be something that could help you. Thanks for watching. I'm James Burnham. Stick around.